Hey everyone, we're here with Southern Owls, and this is such a cool TMI Gifts collab. So not only is this a collab that we're doing today, it's actually a wreath kit that you can purchase on their website. All you have to do, one click. You click it and you get all of these supplies. So we are doing a dog-themed wreath. This is going to be so cute. Here is the mesh that I chose to go into this box. And the cool thing, guys, about this box that we're doing today, this wreath, I handpicked all of these items when I was at TMI Gifts. So everything I personally went shopping for and picked out by hand. I'm super, super excited. This is going to be the first of many wreath boxes. So if you don't snag one of these, because there are limited quantities, there will be more wreath kits in the future. Okay, so if you don't snag one of these, or maybe dogs aren't your jam, there are going to be more wreath kits in the future. Let me snag these. Okay, so what I'm going to first off do is I'm going to take our super adorable sign, and I am going to add pipe cleaners to the back. We're going to do 4. And what I like to do is I like to staple them onto the back first. Okay. Woo, that was loud. And it didn't work. Hold on. Woo! Okay, so I like to staple first. There we go. And then, just for a little extra security, I'm going to add a dab of hot glue. Now, if you don't have a stapler, no worries, friends. You can just dab some hot glue on the pipe cleaner, and it's going to be totally fine. It's going to be totally fine, okay, friends? If you don't have a stapler and you want to purchase one, I have one listed in my Amazon storefront, or you can go to your local hardware store, okay? Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, okay? Mine is a Husky. Mine's a Husky. Okay, my hot glue gun's not warmed up yet, so we're just going to throw this over to the side. Now, this is a wreath form is what we're going to be using today, and I love these because they already come with the twisty ties ready to roll. So I always like to pull out all my twisty ties, okay, to get that going. And that is just how I prep it to get it ready to go. So first we're going to use this 21-inch mesh. Look how beautiful this is. This is actually a TMI exclusive mesh, which is really cool. Really cool. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that stunning? So we're going to start off with this mesh. I'm going to put it off to the side. And what I always do is fold it in half, and then just crumple it together in my hand. Okay, and we're going to find a twisty tie and lay it right in. I start at the top. You don't have to start at the top. I start at the top. Okay, you can start at the bottom, but I always just start at the top. And then we are going to slide our hand down the mesh and measure 20 inches. Or, I'm sorry, measure 10 inches, okay? And you are going to open up that next twisty tie and put it right in. And that, my friend, is a 10-inch poof. So I always like to grab my hands in there, kind of poof it out, make sure it's really gorgeous. And we're going to do that same thing all the way down, okay? So slide gently your hand down, measure out 10 inches. I always kind of knock it a little bit with my hand. Open up that next twisty tie. Put it right in. Take your hands underneath and just pull out. You want to make sure that the edges of the mesh are tucked underneath the poof, okay? Because you don't want it all sticking out. If you tuck it under, it kind of just gives it a little bit more coverage also. It makes it a little bit more thick, a little bit more thick, okay? Same thing. And we're just gonna do that all the way around. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I just hit my microphone with the mesh. Okay, all the way around. 10-inch poofs into every single twisty tie, and I just puff those up. Really pretty. I love doing the poof method. And this mesh is stunning. So not only would this mesh be great for this dog wreath, but this would also be a great Halloween mesh, wouldn't it? This would be great for Halloween. All right, just pushing that underneath, making sure the ends are underneath my little bubbles. Measure 10 inches and lay it right down in there. And you want to make sure when you're twisting your mesh into those twisty ties that you are getting it really nice and tight, okay? Really get that down in there. Really twist those guys in, okay? So now what I do, okay, so we're done with the top. I just find the nearest twisty tie that's on the bottom, and I just slide that right down in there, okay? And give it a twist. Okay? Let me cut that because that's going to drive me nuts. Okay. And give it a twist. So now we're going to do the same exact thing onto the bottom. Okay? We're still going to stick with that 10-inch poof. And we're going to go all the way around. Okay? Inch poof. Right into those twisty ties. Oh, I am loving this. That's just gorgeous. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about this pattern mesh? Have you ever worked with pattern mesh before? Let me know in the comments. That's just really pretty. Also, y'all, if y'all are shopping with TMI Gifts today or in the future, make sure that you use my code OWL20 and you'll receive 20% off your entire order, okay? Which is so awesome. So awesome. That's OWL20. All right, poofing those out. 10 inches. Right into those twisties. Making those poofs gorgeous. Just holding that mesh in. Pulling out on the outer edges, okay? Love it. All right, we got a few more poofs to go. If you have a dog and you're watching this video, what kind of dog do we have? We have a Bull Mastiff mixed with King Corso. His name is Duke. He's brindled and beautiful. He's 7 years old. He'll turn 8 in December, which is crazy because that is so old for a big dog. So I know we only have a few more years with him, but he is such a goober. He's 120 pounds, and he thinks he's a lap dog. You know, he just wants to be in your lap. It's so funny. Okay, so now we're at the end, and we're just gonna snip that off. So just grab your scissors and snip that right off. And now, look, we have enough to make another wreath. So now we're done with this mesh, so I'm gonna put it off to the side. All right, let's see if the hot glue gun's good to go. Let's add a little hot glue to perfect to the staples, just to make sure these pipe cleaners aren't gonna slide on us or go anywhere. This is my Roby hot glue gun. It's cordless. I love it. It is also linked in my Amazon storefront. That is what that's looking like. I'll put that off to the side. Put it just right on top. And this is just 10-inch black deco mesh. We're going to open this up, and we are going to cut this mesh at 20 inches. And we're going to cut the whole roll. The cool thing about this 10-inch mesh is if you cut the whole roll at 20 inches, you will have 18 pieces. And guess what? There's 18 twisty ties on our workboard. So that's perfect. That is perfect, perfect. Y'all, I just got this mat and it's already catching. I'm gonna have to flip it. My mat also, guys, is from Amazon. I'm using a rotary blade to cut my mesh. I like to use a rotary blade. I like to measure. I always say, okay, fine. I always say, if you are a crazy wreath maker, not crazy, but if you make a lot of wreaths, make sure that you change out your blade every so often. I change mine out about quarterly. I buy a big box of rotary blades whenever Hobby Lobby has them on sale. Whoop. And I think they come in like a 4 or a 5-pack. So I just always buy them when they're on sale and have them on hand. Because you want your mesh to have a really good, nice cut and not chomp on it, because your deco mesh is super, super fragile, okay? So you don't want to mess with it a lot because it's going to start fraying on you. So you want to make sure that you only cut your mesh once. Be gentle with your mesh, okay? Perfect. And we're just going to, this is tape, so we're just going to undo that. And that'll be our last piece. Now we're going to move all of this closer to us again. I'm going to take the sign off and get our rotary blade out of the way. Now we're going to take each individual piece of mesh and we are going to do ruffles. So how I like to do it is I like to use a table and I flip, so the mesh is like scrolling in on itself, right? You flip it out on the table. I flip it underneath about 1 inch or 2 on itself. I find the middle, give it a pinch, and then walk my fingers over to the other side, and you want to stay in the middle, okay? So this is what we call a ruffle. So I'm going to put these in long ways in between my poos, right into that work form, okay? And we're going to stay with that ruffle method for the whole wreath. We have 18 twisty ties, and we have 18 pieces of mesh. And we're going to put these in long ways, right in between each poof. And this is just going to add in some more texture to our wreath. And it is going to make sure that our wreath is nice and full, so we don't see the metal frame of our wreath, right? We're just going to keep on going around. And just like before, what I was talking about, the poofs, like we want to make sure that we are really securing those twisty ties. So when you lay that in, that twisty tie, you want to make sure that it's really down in there and you're really doing that nice and tight. I always start at the top, guys, but like you could start at the bottom. It really doesn't matter. It's just preference. I like to start at the top because in my head the wreath is smaller right now, and then when you add the pieces onto the bottom, I feel like you're growing your wreath, so it's easier to get caught on stuff. That's just me. Okay, that's my theory. I know I'm cuckoo cuckoo, but that is why I do. That is why I do it the way I do it. Okay. Because in my head it's smaller right now, right? And then we're gonna go to the bottom and we're gonna add them to the bottom. See? Oh, that's beautiful. This is really beautiful. So now we're gonna add them on to the bottom. So y'all know I love a good dog wreath. They're actually my top seller. So when I was at TMI Gifts, I knew I wanted one of my wreath kits to be a dog wreath. So I'm gonna change this up and we're gonna go side to side on the bottom, okay? Oh, I just dropped a piece of mesh. I'll get that in a little bit. So instead of up and down, I go side to side on the bottom. So the reason why, I just really knew I have a lot of dog lovers out there and I wanted to make this kit for y'all. And I knew as a wreath maker, if you are a seller, I knew this wreath would sell in your shop. Because mine always do. I love a cute dog wreath. So we're going to keep on doing that and see how I'm doing it long ways. Or side to side. I should say side to side. This way. And we're still just doing that ruffle method. Now, some people use their chest areas to make these ruffles. So, I mean, it's just up to you. I like to use the table, as some people do, or they just use their hands. But I just like that table to be there. So it looks nice and uniform. All right, couple more left. I'm gonna have to grab, you're gonna have to give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna have to grab that piece of mesh that fell off my table too. Did two fall off my table? Oh, good Lord. Yep, two fell off. Two fell off. Okay, I'm so sorry. Take a look at that beautiful wreath. Let me grab these two. Intermission. Take a sip of water. Woo! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We're good. Okay. You know me. You know my YouTube tutorials. There's always got to be something funny's got to always happen. Something always has to happen. Okay, two more. Home run stretch. Okay. Home run stretch, and then we're going to put that adorable dog sign on. Beautiful mesh. Beautiful, beautiful. So now we have that gray just peeking out with the black. That is gorgeous. That is so, so gorgeous. So now we're going to take our sign. A house is not a home without a mutt. And we're going to, I always pull these up to get them ready to go to thread into my wreath. And you're going to determine where you want the top. Let me just pull all these little guys out of the way. So I'm going to put our sign on and get our ribbon tails on next. Super cute. Okay, we're going to thread these through the mesh. Make sure that you're threading your pipe cleaners through the mesh, because the mesh is going to help support the sign so it doesn't sink down into your wreath. And then you want to always make sure that you are hitting the wire frame, okay, and twisting it around the wire frame. I'm going to do it underneath because gravity. Okay. I always say this is the hardest part of wreath making. If you can attach your sign, then you'll be good to go. Just make sure that you're hitting it through that mesh, okay, everyone? Sure. And then I can flip it up now because I'm not worried that it's going to timber on me. And then you're going to hit it on that wire, okay? Doesn't matter if it's the first ring, the second ring, the third ring, whichever ring you can reach with your pipe cleaners. I normally always do the first ring, the inner ring. That part doesn't matter as long as your stuff is nice and secure. Okay? Give it a good twist. Now all of those are ready. Sign's not going anywhere. That's cute. Okay. How's everyone doing? Everyone's following along? So now this is the fun part. Now we get to add in our ribbon. I picked out this very neutral ribbon, so it could go on anyone's front door, which is great. I'm just going to cut off the ends. All right, so grab your bow makers or your fill and brave. Let's do a hand bow together. You feeling brave? Okay, here we go. Let's grab our plaid 2.5-inch ribbon first. Make sure that you have a pipe cleaner ready to roll. And I always use a cable tie as well to secure my bow to the wreath. Get that ready to go. How do you like that organization I've got? So I want to do a beautiful bow with long tails hanging off the bottom. So let's do a 10-inch tail. And let's do some 5-inch loops. So you're going to measure out 10 inches and bring those loops together and make sure that you're twisting your ribbon so it's always facing the right direction. So we're going to do 2 5-inch loops and 2 10-inch tails. Cut that right off. Now we're going to grab this cute dog 2.5-inch ribbon, 10 inches. We're going to lift our thumb up, put that next ribbon down, or if you're using your bow maker, just plop it right on. 10 inches again to make those 5-inch loops. And I always kind of like to fluff it out a little bit in my hand as we go. 10-inch tail again. Oh, I love this black and white ribbon. Now we're going to grab the cabana stripes. 10 inches again. Place that down. We're going to do 4 9-inch loops. So actually it's 4.5-inch loops if you're using a bow maker. So you're going to measure out at the 9 if you're doing a hand bow, okay? We need 4 of those. I always like to shrink my loops down a little bit as I go, just so you can see all of the ribbon behind it. Because if they were all the same length, your bow would be very bulky and you wouldn't be able to see all the layers of ribbon behind it. Okay? Cut off at the 10. Now we're going to grab the Swiss dot. Everyone loves a good Swiss dot, right? 10 inches again. And then we're going to flip that ribbon around our thumb. Doing a racetrack loop. And this guy, I just do what I want. So you can make it really loopy, you can make it small. That just really all depends on you. Okay, but that just loops around my thumb. So that's going to hide all of the mechanics on how we put it into the wreath, right? So we're going to grab our cable tie and thread that right through that loop that we just made, right, where our thumb and pointer fingers have been holding all of this beautiful ribbon. And start tightening it, but not all the way, because we want to thread through that pipe cleaner, because the pipe cleaner is how we're going to attach the bow to the wreath. Now I'm going to grab my nippers and cut off that extra cable tie because we don't need it anymore. And now we have a super cute bow. Fluff it out a little bit. So what I want to do now is dovetail all of the ends. I'm going to fold my ribbon in half and cut up at an angle. And we're going to do that to every single tail. Oh, I'm kind of long. Same thing, fold in half, cut up at an angle. This just makes your ribbon nice and finished looking at the end. You don't have to do this. You can also cut up at an angle if you like that better. That's totally fine. So that is what our bow is looking like. So cute. And we're going to put this on at the bottom, right here, okay? Same thing, just thread it through. I like to go one above and one below. That's how I like to thread my pipe cleaners. Above, one below. Same thing, just like the sign, you want to make sure that you are through wire, okay? Because that wire is what's going to make your bow stay in place. Same thing like the sign, you want to make sure that you are threading that through the mesh, okay? Oh, so beautiful. Just going to fluff it out. The ribbon tail is looking good. Okay. Cute. Cute. Okay, so now we have all of these open twisty ties left. So now we're going to cut our ribbon tails. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on top, and then we have 10 on the bottom. So I like to do 13-inch ribbon tails. This is a ribbon tail board. You can get them on Etsy. So we're going to cut, let's do more of these. So we're going to cut, we need 4 on top and 5 at the bottom. So we're going to need 9 of these at 13 inches. So that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I would kind of pinch it a little bit, smush it, and then whoop, and then throw your ribbon toward. All right, and then we're gonna thread our scissors right through that loop. And look at that, we now have our ribbon tails. So I'm gonna take about half of these in my hand. Make sure they're nice and straight up at the top. Fold them in half and cut up at an angle. Just doing that ribbon tail, dovetail again. Same thing. Okay, we're gonna do that to the other half. If you're new to wreath making, just do a few at a time. You don't have to do as many as me. Then you want to make sure that everything looks good and nice and straight. Also, if you don't have a ribbon tail board, you can always cut a piece of cardboard at 13 inches and wrap your ribbon around that piece of cardboard, okay? All right, so we're gonna do the cabana stripe next. We're gonna do 9 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13 inches. Same thing, I kind of just smush it to bend that wire so it just stays in place. Thread them through. Take about half, fold it in half, cut up at an angle, just dovetailing all of these, okay? So this will go on top of our paw print ribbon. Okay, and now we're going to take our plaid ribbon, and we are going to need 8 of these. 3 on the top, 5 on the bottom. "13 inches still keeping with that same measurements. A few, folding in half, flipping it over. Lay those off to the side. And now we're going to take that Swiss dot 1.5 inch, and this is the ribbon that we're going to pair with the plaid. So we need 8 of these. And we're going to dovetail just like all the others. I know, cutting ribbon is a very boring part of wreath making, but it must be done. Must be done, friends. Okay. So just a reminder, this is a whole kit. and it is from TMIGifts.com. That is where you can find this kit. Everything that I'm using, all the supplies come in a box. So all you have to do is click and add to cart. And everything that I use today is already in that box ready for you to go, okay? So now we're going to take the paw print and the cabana stripe and lay it on top of each other. So it's a 2.5 inch ribbon and then a 1.5 inch. We're going to find the middle, give it a pinch, and we're going to add this into the twisty ties. Give it a twist. Now this is your choice, okay? I like to kind of spread these out a little bit. Also, I love to leave the tinsels. I think they're cute. I think it gives it a little extra texture. But if you don't like the twisty ties, snip them right off, okay? We're going to grab the 2.5 inch plaid. Oh, we got caught on each other. Hold on, let me cut that. Let me cut that little guy because it got cut. It got caught. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, wire. I see you. I'm not letting you cut. All right, laid the plaid with the Swiss dot. So this is a 2.5. This is a 1.5. Find the middle. Give it a pinch. And then lay it right into that tinsel. Give it a twist. And then I'm just going to spread these out a little bit. It just gives it a little bit more coverage. And then you can see all the layers of your beautiful ribbon. So the cool thing about using wired ribbon is it gives you that flexibility to move the ribbon around and for it to stay in place. Okay, same thing. And like I said, if you don't like the tinsels, go ahead and cut them off. If you do like the extra tinsel, you know, this is your wreath, you're the designer. I'm just giving you a guide. And what you do with that guide is up to you, okay? You can do it exactly like me, or you can do your own spin on it too. So we're just putting the every other pattern down into the tinsel. And I like to spread out that ribbon. And we're just keeping with it, half, find the middle. One going. Okay. One more on the top, and then we're going to move on to the bottom. So we have 10 tinsels on the bottom, and we're going to do that exact same pattern on the bottom. Just twisting those in. Spreading these out a little bit, okay? Adorable. Already adorable. Okay. That's super cute. So now we got to finish it up, though. We got all these ties on the bottom, okay? Oh my gosh, I love this wreath. I hope y'all love designing this wreath with me. I really enjoyed picking out all the supplies at TMI Gifts. I was really thinking about my customers and, you know, what people like to sell. So I hope you enjoy making this wreath with me today. Okay, guys. We're just doing that same pattern every other. But you know what, guys? When I go on the bottom, and this is once again personal preference, I leave my ribbon like this. I don't spread it out on the bottom. I just like it. I just like it like that. And if you like to spread it out, that's okay too. It's your wreath, your design. You can do it however you want. But on the bottom, I just like to have a little bit of that different texture, different look on the bottom. So I just leave them on top of each other. That's the beauty of wreath making. You can, learn how to do the basics and then you can make it your own. Super fun. Okay, couple more to go. You hanging in there? You got this. We're almost done. You're doing great. You are doing great, friend. Make sure those tinsels are nice and tight, just like when we were putting in the mesh. I am putting one under the bow. I know you're not really going to see it, but I don't know. I feel like the wreath is incomplete if you don't. You can skip it. I'm not going to. Kind of just gives a little bit more fullness to that bow anyways. All right, one more. How we do? How do we do, ladies and gentlemen? Did you love it? Did you like this kit from TMI? Do you want more kits? Oh my goodness, this was cute. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Here is the finished look. Here we go on the sides, the bottom. Okay, how'd you do? How'd you do, friend? So adorable. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure that you give my friends at TMI some love. If you are shopping with them, use code OWL20 and you'll receive 20% off your order. Woo! I'll have everything linked in the comments or in the goodness. I'll have everything linked in the description. So if you want to buy a kit or if you want to shop at TMI, I'll have all of that linked in the description with my discount code. Okay. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I can't wait to craft with you again. Bye, guys.